My name is Vanessa. The rain has stopped, and the air on the balcony smells clean, as if everything has been washed new. I'm sitting here, looking at the city lights blinking below, and my mind drifts back to that fateful chain of events that upended my family. A few days ago, I received a text from my stepdad, Henry. It simply said, "I'm leaving." I called him right away. "You mean?" I asked, my voice trembling. "Yeah," he replied. "I told your mom I'm done. I can't live in a house where decency is treated like betrayal." His voice softened. "I added your name to my insurance, by the way. You're the only one who ever treated me like family." I felt my throat tighten, but no tears came. I just whispered, "Thank you." Before this, things had been building up for a long time. My mother, Diana, is a master at using guilt to get what she wants. My sisters, Lily and Rose, are just as bad, always taking advantage of my kindness. I'm a single mom of two, working as a financial analyst at a tech startup. My days are a blur of spreadsheets, school pick-ups, and the kind of exhaustion that only comes from holding everything together on your own. When Lily announced her engagement, I was overjoyed. I wanted to help her have the perfect wedding. She dreamt of a beachfront venue with a glass pavilion, a place that would look like a fairy tale on Instagram, but it came with a price tag of over $50,000. Ever since I was 18, my mother had been using me as a human ATM. When Lily and Rose were in art school, I co-signed their student loans because Mom said, "You have a stable job." When Henry lost his job for a few months, I covered the mortgage, groceries, and even Mom's spa days, all with the promise that they'd pay me back when things got better. But they never did. I thought that's what family was about, sacrificing for the ones you love. So, when it came to Lily's wedding, I was all in. I spent months helping her plan, from the initial venue search to the final catering arrangements. Every invoice, every call, every deposit, my name was on it. I spent over $4,500 on the deposit, $1,500 on catering consultations, and $800 on floral samples, all charged to my credit card. Looking back, there were signs. Whenever I asked about sharing the costs, Mom's tone would turn icy, and Lily would brush me off, saying, "You're so good with money, you can handle it." I kept telling myself it was temporary, that they'd step up and pay their share. Then, one day, while I was standing in the grocery line with a $120 bill in my hand, I got a text from Mom. "Don't come to the wedding. You and your kids just make things awkward." There was no warning, no phone call, just that cold, final sentence lighting up my screen. Lily responded with a laughing emoji. I stared at it for a moment, then typed back, "Then you won't need my card for the venue." They kept laughing in the group chat, completely oblivious to the fact that I held the key to their dream wedding. I realized in that moment that I was only valuable to them as long as my money was flowing. I wasn't part of their celebration, I was their safety net. The next morning, the group chat was buzzing with laughter and inside jokes. It was a coordinated effort to make me feel like an outsider. I stared at those messages for a long time before muting the chat. That small click felt like a thunderclap in the silence of my apartment. I sat on the edge of my bed, thinking about the past 6 months. I had rearranged my life, skipped family outings with my kids, and taken time off work, all to make Lily's wedding perfect. And now, they were treating me like I was the problem. That night, Henry called me. His voice was quiet and careful. "You don't deserve this, Vanessa. You've done more than anyone," he said. I could hear the hesitation in his tone, the guilt of being stuck between loyalty to my mom and the truth. I told him I was fine, but he didn't believe me. After hanging up, I opened my laptop and scrolled through the venue contract. My name, Vanessa Thompson, stared back at me in bold letters as the primary contact. I realized that this apartment was the only place where I felt safe. Outside these walls, there was only guilt, expectations, and manipulation. I remembered the venue coordinator's friendly voice saying, "You can reach out anytime if you need to make changes." I typed, "Can I cancel the booking if needed?" and hit send. The next morning, the reply came, "Yes, since you're the primary on file." I waited 2 days, long enough for them to keep laughing and for the silence to become unbearable. On Wednesday morning, Lily posted a countdown on her Instagram story, 10 days until forever. I watched it for 3 seconds before opening my laptop and calling the venue coordinator, Sarah. "Hi, Vanessa. Are we confirming the final payment today?" she asked cheerfully. "Actually," I said, keeping my voice calm, "I need to cancel the event." There was a pause on the line. Then, I could almost hear her nod. "Understood. Since the contract's under your name, I'll process the cancellation right away." With a single click, months of planning vanished. Instead of guilt, I felt a strange sense of stillness, like the calm after a storm. That afternoon, I called my 2 oldest friends from college, Maya and Ava. They had eloped during the pandemic and never got to have a proper celebration. When I told them the date and the venue were suddenly free, they thought I was joking. "No joke," I said. "It's yours if you want it, my treat." There was a moment of silence, then soft crying on the other end of the line. By evening, the group chat had gone quiet. I knew the payment must have bounced, and the venue had sent the cancellation notice. I could imagine the panic in their house, Lily refreshing her email, Mom pacing the living room, and Rose typing in all caps. The fallout started quickly. By Thursday morning, my phone was vibrating non-stop. Lily, Mom, and Rose were all calling, leaving frantic messages. "Why did the venue say the booking's gone?" "Vanessa, call me back right now." "What did you do?" I didn't answer. I wanted them to feel the silence I had felt for so long. By noon, Henry called. His tone was low but steady. "They're losing it. Lily's crying, your mom's yelling, and Rose is trying to find someone to blame." "I told them this would happen," he said. He paused. "I'm sorry, kiddo. You deserved better." I thanked him for seeing the truth. That night, my mom called my house phone, a number she hadn't dialed in years. When I answered, she didn't waste time on greetings. "How could you do this to your sister? You sabotaged her wedding." I let her rant, her voice sharp and trembling. When she stopped to breathe, I asked quietly, "Was I even invited anymore?" There was a moment of silence, then she tried to backtrack. "You took that message the wrong way. We were joking. You know Lily gets stressed." She didn't mean it. I almost laughed. "You all thought it was funny enough to post memes. Don't make this worse." "Just fix it," she said, her voice trembling between anger and guilt. I hung up without a word. The next morning, I met Henry for coffee downtown. He looked tired, the kind of tired that shows in your eyes. "Your mom's been impossible," he said. "Lily is calling every venue within 50 miles, but everything's booked." "What about the catering?" I asked. He shook his head. "Refunds are gone. Non-transferable." For the first time, I saw a small smile on his face. "I told her if she doesn't apologize to you, I'm not paying a dime." I sipped my coffee. "And what did she say?" I asked. He looked down. "She said, I'm being manipulated by you." I smiled back. "Maybe you're just paying attention." By Sunday, there was an eerie silence from their end. No calls, no updates, not even a single post from Lily. I thought it was over until Henry texted, they found a new venue. Wednesday evening. A cheap community hall on the outskirts of town. On the day of the wedding, it rained heavily. I wasn't there, but people sent me photos. A cousin texted, "What happened? It looks sad." Lily didn't tag me in anything, but Rose slipped up and posted a blurry photo of the hall's plain walls, plastic flowers, and a cheap sound system. The caption read, "Round 2, no drama." The irony made me smile. Later that night, Henry called. You won't believe this. During the bouquet toss, one of Lily's old friends caught it and shouted that the groom had been texting her. The whole place went silent. I covered my mouth to hide my smile. Your mom blamed me. Said I invited the wrong people, said this is all my fault. I told her she pushed away the only person who ever kept this family together, he said. He exhaled deeply. I think she finally understood it. Maybe not the words, but the silence after. When the call ended, I sat on my couch, listening to the quiet hum of the refrigerator and the faint breathing of my kids asleep down the hall. I expected to feel vindicated, but instead, I felt calm, like a heavy weight had finally lifted off my chest. The next morning, Lily texted me. You must feel proud of yourself. Everyone's talking about how cold you are. I stared at the message, my thumb hovering over the screen. For a moment, I considered replying, but what was the point? She didn't want the truth, she wanted a reaction. So, I put the phone face down and let it buzz until it stopped. Now, as I sit here on the balcony, I look inside at my kids laughing and building a pillow fort in the living room. I realize that peace isn't loud or flashy. It's quiet, steady, and finally mine. I used to think love meant staying, no matter how much it hurt, but now I know that love without respect is just control. Walking away wasn't revenge, it was survival. If you've ever had to choose between your peace and your family's approval, take it from me. Choose peace. You'll sleep better. You'll breathe again. And if this story hits a little too close to home, tell me where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this.